What is going on, people inside that internet machine? Welcome to this episode. Wow, 2022 is out the door. 2023 is now upon us. I do one of these videos every year where I recap all the games that I beat. Guys, we went on 57 new adventures.
Damn!
Yeah, so we put in the work, 57 brand new adventures. I never count games that I've already beaten before, you know, Uncharted, Last of Us, Mega Man's, Contras. I typically live stream those throughout the year, but I never count them on this list. These are brand new games that I've never played before, never beaten before, and excited to add them to the list. 57 games, 29 were Nintendo games, original Nintendo games, which is absolutely bonkers. But what are some of the games that you beat? Make sure that you leave a comment down below. What were some of your surprise games? Maybe games that were better than you thought they were, worse than you thought they were. I'd love to hear it. And I always enjoy watching other people's videos about this time of year on the games that they beat, you know, in the previous year. But okay, I'm not trying to make a 3-hour video here, so a lot of these we're gonna power through. The top 10 are the top 10, just like we always do. I sectioned these off into tier 2, not that they're bad games, just gonna snap through them real quick, maybe give you a sentence or two, my letter grade, on to the next one, and then tier 1 games that I kind of want to talk about a little bit more, but I don't want to make a 3-hour video, so here we go. All right, first two games, we'll fly through sort of like the regular stuff. But RBI Baseball on the Nintendo, never played a whole season. You got to play like all 10 games, you get a little bit different ending. I gave RBI Baseball an A-. I love this game. I loved it as a kid. I love it now. I got this game from a back in the day gamer, and it's proudly in my collection. B- on this one, NCAA college football. Sorry, I gave it a B, not a B-. It's a college football game, and it does have that really cool like Max Payne slow motion when you do a big hit or make a big play, but it is just college football. So we're gonna have a couple of these games in there. I picked these up at Goodwill for $2 each. We got Press Your Luck on the Wii. I gave it a C- and Wheel of Fortune on the Wii. I gave that one a B-. I loved playing these games with my daughter. Press Your Luck is one of those games, once you've played it, you kind of played it. Wheel of Fortune's a little bit more in-depth, because there's collectibles, like you can unlock the Hawaii set or the Las Vegas set. All the slices of the wheel, you know, are collectible. You won the vacation, it's a collectible. So there's a little bit more meat to this one, but yeah, I gotta have a couple of these every year that you play with the kids, and they're pretty good. So if you see them out there for a couple bucks at a garage sale for $1, pick them up. All right, next is Castlevania Adventure for the Game Boy. I had that game when I was a kid. I gave it a C-. Listen, it is not one of the best Castlevania games. It's like the first one, though. It's like 100 years before Castlevania, and it's Christopher Belmont, which is awesome, but there are no sub-weapons. The game moves at a snail's crawl, and it is ridiculously difficult for what it is. Next is Kirby 2, Return to Dreamland, Kirby's Dream, whatever this naming is. I gave it a B+. I like these Kirby Crystal Shard type games, but again, it's a Game Boy game, so it's a little bit, I don't want to say dummied down, but you have to make it for the hardware and the software. Not as good as Kirby, but I thought it was still a really cool game, and I know there's mixed opinions on that. All right, so Jaws on that Nintendo. I actually like this game. It's just, there's not a lot to it. I gave Jaws a B, which I think is a solid score. It, like I said, not a lot to it. You just collect shells, go back port to port, and level up, then you take on Jaws. Not too crazy. We got Stinger. I gave Stinger a B+. I really like this game. It's a twin B game, Konami. Can't go wrong with the Konami. But yeah, not, it's okay. Like I said, I gave it a B. Yeah, B+. So Stinger, not too bad. Rescue Embassy Mission on the Nintendo. I gave it a C-. Again, not a lot to it. It's like 4 short levels. There's a bunch of different difficulties, and you can set the time limit. But other than that, once you've played through it once on the normal mode, unless you really want to challenge yourself, there's just not a lot to it. Jedi Fallen Order on the PS4. Great game. I really loved it. I gave it an A-, but again, not a whole lot to it. It plays more like an Uncharted or Tomb Raider type game. A lot of the collectibles are more aesthetic. But other than that, it's really fun. It's a great game. I just don't really have a lot to say about it. All right, I'm gonna throw this in there because I forgot to talk about it earlier, but Contra, I've already beaten Contra before, so this one doesn't really count. But I wanted to see how far I could go on one continue. I made it 4 loops, had the spread gun, the last level, going for that 5th loop completion, and misjumped into a pit and died, and y'all lost my last life. So I made it through 4, almost 5 loops of Contra on one continue, so I thought that was kind of cool. Now, this is a game that we're gonna give it a higher ranking. This is an A++. S Super ranking, Untitled Goose Game. My daughter and I were at GameStop. She saw this on the shelf. She had to have it, said, we need to play that game. So we sat up here, I made some popcorn, and we played through Untitled Goose Game. Very fun. It's fun to play with the kids, and yeah, I'm glad we had the opportunity to play that one. Stubbs the Zombie, Rebel Without a Pulse. Now, I have beaten this on the original Xbox, but there is something distinctively different about this game. There is a 2-player co-op mode in this sort of remake version, and it's only 20 bucks, but this one keeps crashing. I don't know if they fixed that, but it is on the Switch and the Xbox, so I highly recommend Stubbs the Zombie. Don't pay the original Xbox price. Get it on a modern console. That's my opinion, I guess, unless you absolutely have to have it on the original Xbox, but it looks like we got the PC version because there's a co-op version, co-op mode. All right, the next game, I can't find it. It's the Sonic Genesis collection for the PS4. I played through Streets of Rage. I gave it a C. I didn't like it. I didn't like that game at all. So, yeah, especially those last couple levels, and you get to make this decision. You make the wrong decision. It puts you back to level 5. Like, come on, man. What are we doing? So hopefully, if there is a better Streets of Rage game that I should be playing other than the first one, which I thought was kind of garbage, I almost gave it a D, but I gave it a C. So if there's a better Streets of Rage game, let me know. Here's what I live streamed. This is Until Dawn on the PS4. I gave it a B. I really thought this game was cool. I didn't know anything about it. Like I said, I live streamed it, had a great time. Yeah, it's a really cool game. I really liked it, but it's not a game that I'm gonna go back and beat with every character and try and get every ending. Ice Cream Surfer. This is a shoot 'em up for the PS4. It's a Red Art Games game. You can see the Peggy right there. It is a shoot 'em up. It doesn't take that long to play. I gave it a B+. I do like shooters. The PS4 seems to have an abundance of shooters, and yeah. And there's not a lot to it. It's not very difficult, but you can play it and with different characters, and it's all the same ending though. So anyway, Ice Cream Surfer, B+. Tailspin, Disney Capcom awesomeness. Again, another shooter. The first level is a little wonky because you can only shoot 1 bullet at a time, but you do upgrade. There wasn't really a lot to it. I played through it twice, but yeah. What did I give it? I gave Tailspin a B+, if I didn't say that. So another one that's in the box somewhere, Tekken 5. I gave that one an A-. I really liked it. There's a lot of content. There's like story mode, arcade mode, survival mode. There's some 3D game that you can play. And you can unlock Tekken 1, 2, and 3. But this is the fighting game that kind of stole the show this year. This is Soul Calibur 3 for the PS2. And I gave that one, I probably gave that one a really good grade. Yeah, I gave that one an A grade. Now with the bonus disc, again, those arcade fighters they're arcade fighters, right? You beat it on a story mode, you unlock some stuff, do it again with a different character. And but the bonus disc on that one, there's like unlock all the characters for Tekken Tag, unlock all the characters for like Tekken 4, unlock all the characters and costumes in Xenosaga or something, Moto Racer. There's just an incredible amount of content. So for like 15 bucks, that is definitely a must buy and an A game. So I got this game at GameStop for $5. I get a $5 monthly reward. We get this game for free. It is G.I. Joe Operation Blackout. This is the gold edition for PS4. Now, this is a third-person shooter game with G.I. Joes, and you would think with an entire toy box of G.I. Joes and vehicles and accessories that this game would be absolutely awesome. I gave it a C because it's very repetitive. It's built off of the classified figures that were coming out at the time. So if there was a figure, then it was a playable character. So you don't get to play as like Shipwreck and all these other characters that make appearances, but they're a little more like NPCs and people that are just involved in the story. There's 3 tank levels. It's like you have all these vehicles in G.I. Joe. You could have done something better. But anyway, a $5 game is a $5 game, especially when you get it for free. But like I said, I gave it a C. If you see it for like $1 or $2, maybe pick it up, but I wouldn't spend any more than $5. All right, here we go. Astyanax for the Nintendo. I gave this game a B-. Go into this if you want to play this, understanding that this is similar to like an arcade game, the way they made it. You have magic. So there's two schools of thought. Get really good at the level, use your magic on the boss, or use your magic to get through the level and then get really good at the boss. Fortunately, the game is sort of short, and it's not so much that you can't overpower it, but your sprite is so big, he moves so slow, it's clunky, and yeah, it's not a game that I'll probably ever go back to. So last two games in tier 2, Felix the Cat on the Nintendo. I've had this for a while. I got this at Maxine's bargain box with trade credits. Crazy how expensive some of these Nintendo games are getting. It's a cutesy little platformer. You should be able to beat it in your first or second try. Yeah, nothing really there. Terra Cresta, I gave this one a C+. Kind of an unknown shooter for the Nintendo Victor Kai, but yeah, it's okay. It's more of an arcade style, so it kind of loops. So once you've beat, I think it's like 4 or 5 levels, the game sort of loops again. I did 2 loops and I called it a day, but yeah, I think it's like a $30 game. So if you can find it, definitely grab it. If not, there's probably better shooters on the Nintendo. So here we go. Here are the tier 1 games I kind of want to spend a little bit of time on, but man, we don't want to make this 3-hour video, right? I said that like 5 times. Nano Stray, I picked this up and I'm happy to have it because I like shooters and I'm starting to get a little bit more into the DS. That game gets on everybody's hidden gems list. I'm here to tell you that it is average at best. I gave Nano Stray a B-. Yeah, B- for Nano Stray. It's 15 bucks, so it's cheap, but really it's one of those shooters you could take it or leave it. There's $15 shooters on pretty much every console that would be better than that. In fact, it reminds me of a Game Boy Advance game, and if you're gonna buy a shooter that looks like that, get Iridian 2. Just spend the money, get Iridian 2. Nano Stray, while it's okay, it does not deserve to be a hidden gem, in my opinion, because we don't throw those terms around lightly around these parts. All right, speaking of actually kind of a little hidden gemmy, Jetsons, Cogswell, Capers. This game is not accessible to everyone because it is so damn expensive. And usually when you emulate games to play or something, you're gonna play something that you think is probably better, like a Contra game or a Mega Man game. But I give Jetsons a B. It is surprisingly difficult for what it is. You really have to kind of learn the levels. It's fun. I would definitely play that game again. It's kind of cool. So I give all 3 of these games a B+. I really like, this is actually a real hidden gem. This is Xyz. I know people have talked about that, but that cover art does not scream awesomeness, even with the Hudson Soft B on there. It is part platformer, side-scroller platformer, part dungeon explorer, kind of like Zelda 2 almost, and then part shooter. This is a very cool game. It's very cheap, and I highly recommend it. If you would have told me like 20 years ago that Milton Bradley made good games on the Nintendo, I'd have said, shut your face. That's not true. Time Lord, Milton Bradley game made by Rare. As we get older, we've kind of found out that a lot of these games weren't made by Milton Bradley. They were made by Atlas, Rare, Natsume, some of these third-party developers. Time Lord, very cool. Kind of frustrating a little bit. You have to go through these levels, collect these orbs that may or may not be in the same location. There's a couple different locations they can be in. The boss obviously gives you the last orb, then you move on to the next level. But definitely a solid $10 game. I know when I was at Torg, I saw a couple people picking up that game, and I made it a mission to tell them that is a great pickup. Wampum, another little expensive game, but I got this at Maxine's for trade credit. It's a little Mega Man clone. It's not too terribly difficult. I found that if you just kind of go in order around the map, then you're gonna be fine. That last level was sort of frustrating, but it's nothing you can overcome. Just remember you collect the gourds, and as soon as you collect a certain amount of gourds, then it adds to your life bar. If you hit pause, it'll tell you how many more gourds you need to extend your life bar so you can just farm enemies and basically max out your health if you wanted to by the end of the first or second level. So yeah, Wampum, all those games get a B+. Both of these games got B-. Monster Party, played that in October, obviously, because of Halloween and stuff. Not a bad little platformer. I just, and I didn't hate it. I actually like it. It's a cool game, but I don't know, it just didn't click on all cylinders. It looks great, sounds great, plays great. You can change into this dragon, which, you can fly and stuff. But yeah, it's more of a boss fight, gotta know where to go type of game. Each level has like 3 of these rooms you gotta go in and get boss fights. It was just kind of bizarre. This game I actually really loved, Kid Icarus on the Nintendo 5 screw. I got this from Uncle Strange years ago, and I was like, man, I'm gonna play it. But this was the year that I played it. I still have my Uncle Strange note in there. So thank you so much for that. I played, got the good ending, and then played it again, tried to do it a little bit faster, got the good ending. The secret to Kid Icarus, in my opinion, is to just, I think it's like level 1, 2, or 1, 3, is to just keep attacking enemies and build up your hearts and your points and stuff like that. And then at the end of the level, you'll get the health extension on your life bar, and it makes the game a lot easier. So yeah, definitely recommend Kid Icarus. All right, so both of these games got C pluses. It's almost like someone planned this. Wow, I might catch a lot of smoke for this one. Metal Storm, it's good. I just didn't like it, especially after you build up all this hype about it and you watch the videos about it. But yeah, I just didn't find the gameplay that exciting. You know, you're flipping gravity, and it's like, okay, it really needs to be like a 3-level game. You know what I mean? But it's like 5 levels, and then there's like checkpoints. So once you make it to the checkpoint, you can just keep continuing, power through it in one day and be done with it. I didn't like the power-up system either. You can only upgrade your gun once. You can only get 1 armor. Like if I pick up 5 armors, I should be able to take like 5 hits, you know, before I die. But anyway, this is a much better game actually that I gave the same grade to. The Simpsons Road Rage on PS2. Even though it is wildly repetitive, it is entertaining. There's 10 missions that will maybe take an hour. And then the idea is to collect $1 million so you can buy the transit system back, the bus system back from Mr. Burns. I actually enjoyed it, but it is a grind fest for sure. Another C+ game, Roller Games on the Nintendo. I love this game. It's one of those childhood games, so I had to beat it. But, you know, I used to watch the show, right? That was about 1990 or something, so I was like 11 or 12. And I was just right in my wheelhouse, you know. But that whole game plays like an ice skating level. It's kind of brutal in that regard. You do get continues, and there's 3 different characters, so you kind of get 3 different endings, but C+ in the end. So next 3 games, I gave them all Bs, all childhood games, and very happy to cross them off. We put a dent in the Nintendo backlog this year. Street Fighter 2010. Now, we did have this game when I was a kid, and I did beat it. I beat it with Game Genie. I keep a spreadsheet database of all of the games that I beat for every single system, and I did not put this game on there because I didn't feel right about not beating it naturally, beating it with Game Genie when I was like 12, you know what I mean? So this year we put in the work, and we beat it. It's not too terribly difficult. Don't let that one guy on the internet shape your opinion. You do get unlimited continues, so you will get through it. Used to rent this game, Adventure Island 2. I love it. You can ride the dinosaurs. And absolutely brutal Adventure Island games. The last level, like they really just give you enough health to get through. And I hate that, but it is a beautiful, fun game to play. Happy we got through it. Happy we got through this one. G.I. Joe Real American Hero. I found this for a very good deal at the flea market. I think it was like 40 or 50 bucks, maybe 50 bucks. And as you know, it's like a $100 game now. But yeah, I love this game. Finally put in the work, went through it, and I didn't understand it as a kid. You can kind of like level up your Joes. So knowing that makes the game a little bit more bearable. But there are some levels where you have to like go through the base and put up the bombs, and it can get a little disorienting and trying to figure out how to get there. So I recommend looking up like a map for those sections. But the side-scrolling shooter platformer stages, that's just exactly what they are. It's not any more difficult or harder or easier than Contra I found, but G.I. Joe Real American Hero, man. God, I love beating games I had when I was a kid. These next 4 games, I gave them all Bs. So Shatterhand on the Nintendo. It's good, not great. There's some things that I really liked about it, some things that I didn't like about it. I like the orb power-ups that you get. There's alpha and beta cards that you can kind of punch, and you can flip them back and forth. And when you make a combination of 3, it'll give you an orb that gives you sort of a second power, I guess. And sometimes it shoots a flame or has a samurai sword or throws grenades, which is the one I found the most useful. And yeah, the final level, man, you got to fight like 3 of the 5 bosses again. And the one thing I didn't like about it is the first level is a tutorial phase, then the last level is the last level. The other 5 levels you can select like Mega Man, and there's no need for that because they get progressively difficult. So you might as well just make it like level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and not A, B, C, D, and E, and you can, I don't know, I thought that was weird. But yeah, another expensive NES game, don't buy it, emulate it. Sonic Mania, this is the first ever Sonic game that I have beaten, And it was good. Sonic's a little too bing bang boppy for me. Like I want to take time and look at the graphics and see what's going on in the background. And when you're flying around so fast, you really don't have that opportunity. Star Fox Zero for the Wii U. Really like this game. I like the way they use the gamepad. Like you have to look at the gamepad, but then take your eye off the screen. Just like if you were flying an actual R-Wing and you needed to look down at your radars or scopes or gadgets or whatever, you wouldn't be looking at what's going on in the battlefield. But it looks like $1,000,000. I really enjoyed this game. And you can like hold the gamepad up, right? And it's cool. It's just, I think it's a cool feature. It takes a little while to get used to, but it's definitely cool. Ninja Turtles on the Nintendo. I've been waiting my entire life to beat this game. When I was a kid, I could make it past the damn level, and a couple times I made it past the turtle van level, but really it's those micro jumps that you have to make in the sewers, and then you make the jump and then something hits you and knocks you off into the water. That's usually where I called it quits as a kid. I wanted to make an effort this year to beat all of the NES hard games that MrMatthews is running through on his channel. I'll leave a link down below. Ninja Turtles was on that, so I had to beat it. I'm happy that I did. And yeah, it's definitely a game that you can go back to. Not as bad as people make it out to be, but I love it because it's a childhood game. Abadox for the Nintendo. I gave this one a C. I did not like it as much as I like some of the other shooters on the Nintendo. It looks cool. It's brutally difficult. You get unlimited continues. And it does this really cool thing I've never seen in a shooter before, where usually you're side scrolling or you're vertically scrolling. This one, because you're flying into this like planet or thing, you're like flying downwards and you're shooting downwards. It's a very cool effect, but I just didn't, I thought the brutality of this game was environmentally focused. Like you go through these narrow passages and it's like, come on, man. Like if you don't have the right weapon, then it makes it almost impossible to get through. And it does that thing that I absolutely hate in shooters. You beat the final boss and now all of a sudden you've got to navigate some type of slalom thing to get out of the base before it explodes. It's like, I just blew up the boss. I'm leaving, you know? And what's crazy about that is once you beat the final boss, that's a checkpoint. So you get as many times as you need to get through the slalom thing. So there's no punishment for dying in that section 1,000,000 times. You just got to get through it once. And I don't know. For $15 is kind of what this game goes for. I got this at Maxine's for $15. There are plenty of other better shooters in that price range on the Nintendo, but it's still a cool game to add to your collection. Again, a Milton Bradley game developed by Natsume, I believe, that you wouldn't think would be a decent game, but yeah, it's okay. That's why I gave it an okay score. All right, I gave Earth Defense Force a C for the PS4. I like this game. It plays like if Starship Troopers was a video game, right? You're a third-person shooter, you got these big bugs and stuff, but you do need to level up. You do need to grind. It's 89 levels long. It is too damn long. That needs to be like a 50-level game max. And yeah, if you see it for cheap, it's pretty cool to play, to live stream, you know. But man, beating that game on the normal mode was crazy, unless you level up to like level 100. And yeah, crazy. But anyway, a game that I really, really liked, Mega Man 11. I gave it a B+. I really liked it. Great return to, you know, that classic Mega Man style. There's a shop, you can buy upgrades. It does use this weird like gears system where you're slowing down time and stuff. Get rid of that, okay? Just keep the platforming pure for the Mega Man games. But keep that shop idea. I love the idea of collecting bolts to buy, you know, upgrades and things like that. But yeah, very, very good game. I really liked it, so I gave it a B+. All right, let's speed through these. Pac-Man World 2, really enjoyed it. Kind of frustrating. I gave Pac-Man World 2 a B. Very, very cool game. I like the concept of it. The unlockables suck. And God of War 2, I gave this one a B+. I did not like this as much as the original God of War. Like, I played the first one. It was like that last year. It was like that wow factor. Like, oh my God, this is crazy. I kind of found it a little bit kind of boring, I guess. Boring and repetitive because I'd seen it. Maybe I should have waited another year or two to play that one after being wowed by the first one. But still a B+. And the bonus content on there is really cool. There's commentary and like how they built the game, which is kind of neat. All right, speaking of MrMatthews NES Hard, this game was on there, Ghosts and Goblins. I never beat Ghosts and Goblins before. I never really played Ghosts and Goblins before. I don't know, what did I give it again? I forgot. I'm not even paying attention. I gave it a C minus, okay? Which is basically the lowest score I could give any game because I don't really do like D's, you know what I mean? It's all C's and above. I was trying to find the good in a game. And although I appreciate that it's an early Capcom game, it's an arcade game, they weren't thinking about developing games the way they make games now. They were just arcade porting, you know, translating them over to cartridges. But it's flickers, and you can get used to the weapons and the jumping and stuff like that, the knockback. But what you can't get used to is like the flickering, because sometimes you don't even see what hit you. It's so annoying. Each level has a hard spot. Like in level 2, it's like the big guy house, right? Like you get through there, you're pretty much okay. Every level's sort of like that. Yeah, and it just, everything's so busy and it just clutters. It's crazy. I was in the last level, right? And it basically becomes a war of attrition with this game. I climbed the ladder, ghost spawned right on top of me. I climbed the ladder, went to the left, ghost spawn. Climbed the ladder, went to the right, ghost spawn. Climbed the ladder, jumped straight up to see if I could avoid it, ghost spawn. It is a war of attrition where you're waiting for that perfect run of that level because you can just keep continuing. And then you got to play it twice. The second loop is a little bit harder, but really once you've mastered the first loop, the second loop isn't too terribly difficult. But like I said, that is an NES hard game for the wrong reasons. It's on MrMatthews NES hard list of the 10 games. He did a review on it. Like I said, I'll leave a link to his channel down below, but I did not like that game at all. The last game in this tier before we get to our top 10, right? I gave this game a B+, okay? It is Ninja Gaiden 2. Now, truth be told, it looks great, sounds great, you know, all that stuff. And it's worthy of a B+ grade, I believe. But I don't like that game at all. I don't like it as good as the first one. I definitely don't like it as good as the third one. There are too many gimmick levels, an ice level, turn off the lights level, the water level, the wind level. The easiest levels in the game, I swear to God, the first level, obviously, and then level 7, World 7, 1 and 7, 2, there's no gimmicks. It's just pure Ninja Gaiden platforming. And when you throw in this, I need to slash something and not slide off the edge, it's maddening. It is not the way Ninja Gaiden is supposed to be built. Then you throw in these clone shadow ninja warriors that just get in the way. And it was obviously a bad idea because Tecmo didn't do it again, right? It basically copied from Ninja Spirit on the TurboGrafx, tried to put it in this game and it didn't work because they're orange and like the enemies are red and orange and the bullets are like red and orange. And it gets so clustered on the screen that you can't see where you get hit. The respawning is worse than the first one. It is an easier game. And I know you're thinking like, when I played through it, I beat it. I played through it 2 more times and you're like, well, okay. I played it on, today's Monday. I played it on Friday again. And then I played it again today and beat it. And it didn't change my opinion. I thought my opinion would change a little bit over time on that game. It's still a B game, I guess. And it is a Ninja Gaiden game, so I do love it. But I would much rather play the first one or the third one. Here we go, guys. That is tier 1, tier 2. Here, let's go to the top 10. So here we go, where we get to the top 10. We always have like 2 games in that top 10 spot. So this is number 11. So the first game out of the top 10. I really enjoyed this game. This game is absolutely worthy of an A-. That is for sure. A little hidden gemmy if you ask me, because not a lot of people talk about it. But it is Ninja Gaiden Dragon Sword. Oh God, this is terrible. For the DS. Picked this up at the Heath Flea Market for like $15 and absolutely loved it. It is not a typical Ninja Gaiden game where the difficulty is brutal. You're probably going to get through that. Again, you get unlimited continues, but you know, it's a very nice story. It looks great and very just a joy to play. Just very, very fun. And it's cool because you use the DS, you put it in book mode, right? And you use the stylus to move, attack, use your magic. Like you wouldn't think that would work, but it actually works out perfectly for that game. So when I pick my top 10, I take 10 and 11 and I hold them there and I go, which one would I want to play again? And this definitely made it. It is Yucas Island Express for the PlayStation 4. It is a pinball game with a very cute little story that you're this dung beetle and you go to this island and you got to deliver the mail and use the pinball flippers to flip up. You collect these fruits that unlock other flippers and you flip up to like the ice level, you get the item, then you go all the way back down the table to the jungle where you use the item that you got to get past the next part. It is very cool. It's only gonna take like 2 or 3 hours to beat like the main story mode. I 100%ed it. It took about 6 to 8 hours, somewhere in there, because you have to do things correctly. Like the little ping pong ball, or the pinball that you're attached to. There's a shop where you can paint it. So you paint it like a bumblebee, and then you can get past the little bumblebee part. It's very cool, very in-depth, and enjoyed that game a ton. Highly recommend it. Coming in at number 9, I gave this game a B+, but it would probably be an A. Castlevania Dracula's Curse for the Nintendo. What a game. That's the hardest game I've ever beat in my life. It is brutal. Now, I went into it knowing there was like a Castlevania game, obviously, like the first one, and that there were 3 characters. I didn't realize that you couldn't like collect them all like Pokemon and just keep them with you. You could only have one of the characters at a time. So it's kind of neat to go through and beat it with Grant, with Sypha, with Alucard, you know, and just kind of play all the levels. I got kind of good at it where I needed like 3 continues to beat it, which I think is fair for that game because it is terribly difficult. It's the hardest game I've ever beaten. I really enjoyed it. I don't know if I'd ever go back to Castlevania Dracula's Curse, but this is one of those NES hard games, so we had to cross it off the list. Coming in at number 8, I gave it an A-, The Guardian Legend, contender for worst cover art of all time. This game is absolutely incredible. It makes all those hidden gems lists, and I've watched all the videos on them before. Made by Compile. It's predominantly a vertically scrolling shooter, and it's great. And then you go from corridor to corridor, you collect items, you upgrade different weapons and things. And yeah, the other part is sort of like a Zelda kind of game where you are traveling from one corridor to the next so you can get back into your shooter form, tackle a boss. I don't want to spoil it for those of you that haven't played it. I met a dude at Maxine's Bargain Box that was picking this up. Don't know if you played that yet, buddy, but it is an amazing game, Guardian Legend. Woo! I played through it like 3 times. So I think I got this at a garage sale at Super Mario 3D Land for the 3DS. Coming in at number 7, man. Listen, you gotta play a Mario game every year, don't you? And I like Super Mario Land 2, and I think that's a cool little name. Like it's Super Mario Land 3, but it's on the 3DS, so it's Super Mario Land 3DS. See what they did with the name there? Kind of cool. I did like all the stuff that you need to do. I think to get, I didn't get 100%, but I did like beat it with Mario. I didn't do like Luigi. Anyway, I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff that you have to do to get like 100%, and it's kind of bullshit, really. But there's like a main world, and then you can kind of go down, and there's another set of worlds. And if you reach the top of the flagpole with Mario and Luigi and all the levels, and you get a star. If you collect all the 3 coins in each level, you get a star. There's just like this got that kind of nonsense. Like I'm down with getting all the coins and beating all the levels and doing all that stuff, but you know, if you're telling me I gotta reach a certain height on the flagpole in all of these levels with 2 characters, that's just padding. You know what I mean? So beat it once, and you'd probably be good. I put a little bit more into it just because I like that kind of game. I like the way it looks on the 3DS, or on my 2DS rather. And if I didn't say, I gave it a B+. Had a really great time with this time. Pocky and Rocky Reshine coming in at number 6. I gave it a B. Again, not a higher letter grade than some of the other games, but I really had a fun time playing with this. I streamed it, and like most Pocky and Rocky games, they are so expensive. So to get this at GameStop brand new for $20, absolute steal of a deal in my opinion. Lots of content on here, and it's just kind of a fun run and gun top-down shooter. I definitely recommend it. Like I said, I streamed it. I streamed it on the easy mode. I streamed it on the normal mode. And yeah, beautifully done game by Natsume. Yeah, I can't recommend it enough. It's really cool. It's great to have a Pocky and Rocky game in the collection. Like I said, $20, man. Can't go wrong. Played some Wii games this year, man. This is a game series, actually, that nobody talks about. This is Castle Shikigami 3 for the Wii. It is a bullet hell, it's actually a bullet grazer. It's a subgenre of bullet hell, but it is an amazing game. I love all of these games. Mobile Light Force and Castle Shikigami 2 are on the PlayStation 2. Highly recommend them, as they are like under 30, 35 bucks. You might want to get your hands on them. But this is another game that you might want to get your hands on, especially if you collect for Wii. Like I said, it's a top-down bullet hell style shooter, but it's also a bullet grazer. So the closer you are to those enemy bullets, your return fire does more damage, thus racking up a bigger score. And you've got like Shikigami powers that you can use. It's a very cool game. I love them. And those games are notorious for You start with 3 continues, and for every hour of gameplay, you unlock another continue. So the more you play, the more continues you're gonna get, the better chance that you're gonna get to beat the game. But the joke's on you, because by the time you're able to get like 9 continues, you're already really good at the game, you know what I mean? From just playing it over and over and over. But the Shikigami no Shiro series, the Castle Shikigami series here in the States, highly, highly recommend. Oh, and I gave that one a A-. Number 4. Again, I did the NES hard games for MrMatthews Challenge, and then I wanted to play some of these games that people consider hidden gems. So coming in at number 4, guys, Journey to Silius. Sunsoft, you've done it again. What a masterpiece. It's supposed to be a Terminator game. They lost the license, but thank God that game came out. It's not very long. It's average difficulty, but what really sets that game apart is its awesome, awesome soundtrack. In my opinion, it is the best soundtrack on the Nintendo from start screen to end credits. Absolutely incredible. And it has that sort of like high bassy, drum beat, crunchy, like Genesis sound. And to get that out of a Nintendo, it's incredible. I absolutely loved this game. Yeah, I can't say enough about it. I obviously gave Journey to Silius an A- for sure. Again, a game that I picked up at the flea market for like 25 bucks, so I got a steal of a deal on it. Yeah, it is so good. Like there were times where I'll just sit in here and I'll watch like TV or play a game and I'll just pop on the soundtrack because it's incredible. Here we go. It is top 3 time. It's been a long video, but we're gonna end this off strong. Number 3, been waiting my entire life to beat Battletoads, and while I have a lot to say about this game, I don't have anything to say that hasn't like already been said. I used to rent that game as a kid, could get to the Turbo Tunnel when the Bootsy Beats videos came out like 8 years ago or whatever that was. I could get to the Snake Pit and I said, damn it, we got to beat all these MrMatthews NES hard games. That is obviously on that list, but I love Battletoads so much. That game is amazing. My strategy was to get good at like the first 4, 5, 6 levels, then hit the reset button, try them again, just repetition, just get so good at them that it was numbing, just mind numbing to go through them. And then I would use the warps to get to the later levels so I could practice them. And then I beat the game and I was like, well, I'm gonna play straight through because my goal is to beat every single level. Hit the reset button, grabbed a Coca-Cola Classic, not that original formula bullshit, a Coca-Cola Classic, fired it up. Next run was a 1cc. I died twice in Battletoads, so that is probably the best I'm ever going to get at Battletoads. Very excited to have beaten that game, and yeah, it is incredible. Once you've beaten Battletoads, I don't know if there are any other hard games out there because you compare everything mentally. This isn't as hard as Battletoads. I can get through it, and then you eventually persevere, but Battletoads, woo. So happy to cross that one off the list. Been a long time. All right, coming in at number 2, the last game that I got to beat all the games on MrMatthews NES. This is a MrMatthews promo video, but it is Ninja Gaiden 3 A+ all the way. This game is absolutely phenomenal. The quality of life upgrades that they made in this game are awesome. Not only can you like climb to the top, but you can like push this way, you know, like that way and jump and you'll just roll right off. You get to see what is in the lanterns. And they got rid of the points in the lantern, so everything that's in the lantern is an upgrade, a power-up, a Nympho magic, and that last level is brutal. My best run was a 1 death run. I made it all the way through the game without dying. Then because of the timer in stage 7, I died because you gotta be fast, man. You gotta get the circular flame wheel and carry that all the way through. But I died because of time, and then you started at 7-3, made it all the way through the game without dying again. So that one stupid time death, probably gonna bug me, and I'll probably play this again to try and no death run it somewhere down the road. But beautiful game, beautiful game. I can't say it's my favorite because I'm so nostalgic, stubborn with the first game, but Ninja Gaiden 3, man, what an incredible game. All right, coming in at number 1, A+ game, man. I tried to play this game years ago on the PlayStation 2, couldn't get into it. I found this in a lot of games. Kingdom Hearts, the 1.5 HD remix. Plugged this into my PlayStation 3, could not put it down. I am not action RPG guy. I'm not RPG guy. for sure, but that game really hooks you in, and it looks so good. And it's like, it seems overwhelming to collect all of these things, but as you chip away at it, you get more and more and more. As you find out where these materials are so you can synthesize these extra items, it gets better and better and better. And then you beat all these extra bosses that they threw into this version that aren't in the play. It gets better and better and better. And by then you've leveled up so much. You've gone too far. You've gone to the point of no return, which is like an actual spot in the game where once you cross it, it is go time, right? What Kingdom Hearts, what a beautiful game. And this is the version that I recommend. I think it's on the PS4 as well. So the 1.5 HD remix, we did everything we needed to do in Kingdom Hearts. All the Dalmatians, all the Winnie the Pooh stuff, all the Ansem letters, everything, anything gummy ship related, we did not do that. The gummy ships, I do not like that part of the game. I think it's dumb and just stupid padding, but everything else in this game we accomplished. And synthesized everything, got the Ultima Blade, beat all the Colosseum. Like, there's just so much to do. Such a beautiful game, and that soundtrack, the song that goes with it, man, what an incredible adventure. I look forward to playing another Kingdom Hearts game in the future. Maybe not in 2023 though, but yeah. Wow. Those are the games, guys. What have you been playing? Leave a comment down below. Would you beat in 2022? Make sure you leave a comment down below. I'm so sorry that this video is so long, but we put in some work this year, played some games. So yeah, I don't know how to end this video other than to say thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and we will see you on the next one. And if you want to see what games I beat last year, I will leave that down here at the end somewhere so you can see all the cool games I beat last year. Look forward to seeing your guys' response video, and I hope you have an awesome 2023.